We're here today for another installment of the Paper Shredder Repair Clinic with Tech John, brought to you by GetThatPart.com. Go to GetThatPart.com for the best availability of paper shredder repair parts and industrial machines of all makes and models. We have selection second to none. Today's session will be our first installment on buying a paper shredder. And we'll talk about selection today. This is a big subject, so we're going to split this up over several videos and do a more thorough job. Now, many people are not familiar with what to look for in a machine. We teach that the first thing to consider is what type of cut is right for me. Strip cut, cross cut, and micro cut are the three main types of cut available. Strip cuts require less maintenance, are the most forgiving, and will probably do more production for the horsepower than any of the other makes. On the other end are microcuts. They have the highest security level, and they'll produce what's equivalent to dust in size. I mean, it's microscopic, and they're very high maintenance machines, and the throughput is very minimal as a result, and require a lot of horsepower. So they're both ends of the spectrum here. And then there's the crosscuts that are in the middle, which are a compromise between the speed and security, and are probably the one that are the most prolific. The ones that are, there are more crosscuts out there probably than any other kind, because they're such a great compromise for most people. Today's session is going to be our first installment on buying a paper shredder. Now, we're going to start with an explanation of what types of machines are available to you from the manufacturers. We have strip cut machines, we have micro cut machines, and then we have cross cut machines. Strip cut machines are ones that are designed to cut small strips of paper, typically an eighth or a quarter of an inch wide, and they'll strip the whole piece of paper with that one cut size. Cross cuts will cut that strip in smaller particles, typically at about 1.5 inches, and microcuts, well, they go off the charts. They're going to give you dust. I mean, the particle size is microscopic on those. And so there's a completely different grinder associated with each of these different machines. And so they come in those three flavors, and they're geared towards your security needs and your throughput needs. And that is what we're going to get into in more detail. Okay, so here we are. We've got a selection prepared for you of 5 machines today, which is actually a small fraction of what we have available every day. Normally we keep at least 50 machines in stock that are reconditioned by our team. So you have the widest available selection to choose from. And you'll be able to more likely find a machine that fits your needs with that type of a selection available. So the first machine that you're seeing here is an HSM 390.3. It's remarketed as an Adams marketing machine, but it's actually an HSM machine. We're HSM dealers. It's what we sell in new machines, and it's probably our favorite brand. And this is a strip cut machine. It's one of the large format strip cut machines. The next machine that we're showing you is a Fellows C420. And this machine is also a strip cut machine, but it's a narrow strip cut machine, which means that it only takes about this is a 10-inch throat. This is a 16-inch throat, so that's a wide format versus a narrow format machine. So depending on the paper that you have that you're grinding, you may want, the narrow may work for you, the wide may be better. These are large capacity machines. This machine is a GBC 6550X. It's one of their largest machines. The bin capacity on this is nearly 55 gallons, and it's a crosscut. So this is a very large capacity. It's an example of one of the larger machines that are available for work groups. Now the next machine over here that we're going to show you is a Dolly. This Dolly 20422 DMC is actually a crosscut machine. It's the smallest machine in the group that we have here. You can see that it comes up just about to my knee in size. It's a much smaller machine than the others. This is a crosscut, and it's a very simplistic approach. Just have a simple on-off switch here, and a smaller capacity. It suits some people's needs just fine. The last machine that we're going to show you here is this Intimus CC360 machine, which is also a crosscut, and it's just a little more larger machine than the dolly that we had ahead of it, but it's also in that same group, that smaller work group size, and it's fine for offices that may have 5 to 10 employees in it and have occasional shredding needs. Now, generally, these smaller machines are going to be in the $300 range. Maybe some of them are priced up to $400. And these are a fraction of what new is. I mean, these machines are typically $1,000 to $1,500 new machines. So you can see the value that we're providing for customers here. And once they're reconditioned by our team, they're fully guaranteed and warranted, and they're in as new condition performance-wise after we're done with the process that we do. And we'll get into that in another session and explain in more detail exactly what we do. So the larger format machines that we just discussed a minute ago are generally priced in the $600 to $800 or $900 range, depending again on the features, capacity, and market situation on each of these machines. And to give you some idea, these are machines that would typically sell for between $3,000 and $5,000 new. So again, just so you can, demonstrates the value of what you'd be buying in a reconditioned machine. Again, this is a wide format machine. This is for a crosscut here, and you've got very simplistic controls in this GBC. It's one of the things that I think you should look at. The less that you have in controls on these machines, the less can go wrong with them. So I think that's an important consideration too. Okay, so now since we've talked about the outside of the machines, I think that the next step is let's just take a look on the inside of the machine, shall we? And so you can see a little bit more about what is inside. So this is the HSM 390 machine, and this is what the inside looks like. You see it's got a nice molded manual holder here, and it's got a little spot down here for oil. It's all built into the door. And then the bin slides out like this. And you can see the strip cut pattern here on this machine, and this is the shreds that are residual after our testing work is completed. So again, HSM typically is a very simplistic design, very trouble-free design, and it's one of the reasons we like them so much. The Fellows machine next to it over here is probably the highest sales machine that there is. Fellows sells more shredders than any other make. And this is the C420, as I had said before. It's a very popular make and model of machine. This is what the inside looks like here. You see they have a very similar door structure here, where you have a place for a manual, and you have you can put oil in there, you can put bags in here typically. Their version of the bin looks like this, and there you can see the residual cuts from the testing work that we did on this machine. Now the GBC, this is actually a German-made GBC machine, and you'll find this is true in many of these makes. There's a Fellows German-made version that's actually built by Dolly that they brand as their own. GBC does the same thing. They have a German-made that's actually made by Idealwork, and this one is. And they have other manufacturing for their machines as well, and they sell machines, they don't make them. So this is what the inside of this machine looks like, and as you see here, there's a manual in here. We try to include an original manual with most of the machines that we sell. Their bin is actually designed that you can pull it out on rollers like this, and this is what the cross-cut shreds look like for this machine. So moving on to the other machines here, the smaller format machine, this Dolly, this is what the inside looks like on this one. And you can see this is actually, it's not a micro cutter, it's a level 4 cut, which is a little bit finer than a typical cross cut. And you can see the pattern down here is much smaller than the cross cut that you just saw. Dolly machines are, their focus on marketing is trying to make a quieter machine. So if you've got office environment concerns where quieter is better, that's a machine that you should think about. On the Intimus here, this is and by the way, Dolly is also a German-made machine. There are 3 primary makes in Germany: Dolly, HSM, and Idealwork. And we have them all represented here today. It's one of the things that we actually focus on. We try to offer as many German-made machines as we can. So inside the Intimus machine, you see also we have a nice holder here for oil. And you pull the bin out, and you can see the cross-cut pattern here for this machine. This is the normal, what's called a level 3 cross-cut. It's actually a 1/4 inch wide strip cut that's cut about every 1.5 inches in a pattern. That's what a cross-cut will do. So that's what this one looks like. Very nice compact machine and very logical, easy controls. So this is just a small sampling of our inventory, and we wanted to give you an overview today of what we have available and some of the general concerns that you might have when you're looking for shredders. So we pride ourselves on being able to take you through that step by step when you're concerned about different things that are germane to your office and your own shredding needs in terms of security and throughput and maintenance. And we will help you with each of those steps when you buy a machine. We're not just people that sit behind a desk and push brochures at you and say, here's a deal for today. We're people that want to make sure we're your partner on this for as long as we can be. Okay, so now that we've had an overview of these machines, the next step is to look under the hood, as we call it. We want to show you how these machines work. We're one of the few companies out there, maybe the only company out there, that will actually show you under the hood of these machines so that you understand what it is you're buying exactly. And we want to show you the differences between them. So that'll be our next session. So until then, this has been another session of the Paper Shredder Repair Clinic with Tech John for GetThatPart.com. Remember, go to GetThatPart.com for all your shredder needs. That would be parts and that would be machines. We have everything that you can imagine for paper shredder support. And you get to talk to people who actually know what they're talking about, even people like me. And we've been here for 20 years. That's why I look so old.